They were convinced that they heard a kitten outside because the window was open. And they got up and they went to look for this kitten for a minute. And then they realized that that sound was coming from my nose. Good morning. It is day 5 post-op. A little catch up on how last night went. I took like a 3-hour nap. I could not fall asleep when I tried to go to bed. I tossed and turned for a couple of hours and I was just uncomfortable. I wasn't in any actual pain, but just kind of, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a dull ache, but not really hurting. I don't know. It's kind of just like a discomfort, just in general. If I'd only had a rhinoplasty, I don't think it would have been that big of a deal. But just like with the legs and the aching there and then the fat transfer and like the headache, and so I caved and I took half a pain pill just so I could get some sleep. Once that kicked in, it was kind of nice because I was able to breathe through my nose the entire night. I'm able to breathe through it a tiny bit, but it's not enough air to feel like I'm getting enough oxygen. So normally I'm breathing through my mouth, especially during the day. Like right now, I still need to clean everything out and it does get a little bit stuffy. So I'm a lot less tired today than I was yesterday. Yesterday, I was just kind of still super groggy. I'm kind of glad that I'm doing these vlogs every single day because I would have thought that I could remember everything because I felt like coherent every single day. Like I felt a little tired, but totally with it. But then when I try to think back on the days, it's kind of a big fuzzy memory. I remember it, but there's a lot of details that I don't remember. Just small details, like I couldn't remember when I did my laundry the other day because I did my laundry before I had surgery. I'd cleaned everything. And then 2 days later, I did a small load of everything that I wore on my surgery day and all my towels that I'd been laying on because like my legs, that fluid leaked all the way through the towels and everything. So, but then it was like weird because yesterday I was trying to figure out when I'd cleaned my leggings that I was wearing yesterday because I was like, I know they're clean. When did I clean them? Because I wore them after the surgery. I was so confused. So it just made me realize how fuzzy my memory is. So it's just kind of nice to be able to have all these videos to look back on and really see what I'm thinking every single day and what's going on and all that, because with like the medications, you just don't realize how much they're affecting your memory and the way you think. So today I'm feeling a lot more alert, but I did take the half pain pill last night, so I'm sure I'm not like fully clear, but I can tell that I'm feeling better and better. So like all the days I felt good and I felt fine, especially when I was taking the pain meds, because with the pain meds, I mean, you just feel fine as long as they're not making you sick or anything, but they're still like messing with you a little bit. So it's like you feel fine, but it's definitely medicated. And now I'm just starting to feel fine by myself. So you need to get that sleep to kind of recover and everything. Like that's when your body heals best, is while you're sleeping. So I'm going to try to stay awake all day. Everyone went boating this morning, and of course I was not about to get on a boat looking like this. Either way, you don't want to be in the sun because you don't want to have your stitches in the sunlight because they'll turn red and eventually will go away, but it will take a lot longer for the scar to go away. And so it's just better not to do that. If it hadn't been a 3-day weekend, I would have already received my, I think they call them like the paparazzi mask. I'd seen it like in a music video or on TV or something. It's very Daft Punk, I guess. It's kind of funny, but it's like a visor, but it goes over your entire face because I can't wear sunglasses for 6 weeks. But either way, that does not cover your nose. So like if I go outside, I try to wear a hat, but once again, like the sun comes around, that a hat will mainly block your eyes. So I looked this up and I found them on Amazon for super cheap. It'll be here tomorrow, so I'm pretty excited about that. But when I ordered it, I always think of ordering things at the beginning of the weekend, which totally sucks because with 2-day Prime shipping, it ends up taking 4-5 days. And that really sucks because I'm not the most patient person, because I'm always like, yay, I can get it in 2 days. And then I realized that I messed something up with the payment. And so I had to redo it. And by the time I redid it, it was like 5 days later because it's a 3-day weekend. So that was very disappointing, but oh well, I guess I'm not really going anywhere. It's probably going to look very ridiculous, but not as ridiculous as this face going out in public. Either I'll get looks for wearing a big rainbow looking sunglass mask, or I'll get looks for looking looking like I got in a fight with Mayweather. Today's the last day that I need to take my antibiotics. So that'll be nice because I don't like to take antibiotics in general. I just feel like they're not good for you. But if the doctor says so, I'll take them. And hopefully I don't really need to take any pain medicine. I don't think I will. I'm going down to my parents' house for dinner. And they haven't seen me yet. They've seen video clips of me, like my Snapchats and stuff, because my little sister has shown them the videos. So they kind of know that I look crazy like this, but still, I don't want them to be worried because I made some stupid decision to like end up looking like this voluntarily. But either way, I mean, they know that I'm not hurting or whatever, so it doesn't really matter. Just a close up again of what is going on. You can see all the little stitches everywhere. And then my eyes still look like I'm wearing eyeliner, and it's turning different shades of yellow, so it's working its way out, so that's good. This side's looking a lot better. The bruises will probably still be there by the time I have my appointment on Thursday. I'm a little concerned about how that's gonna go. I don't know if I'm gonna take a pain pill before the appointment, just because I don't know if it hurts to take the stitches out, so I might ask them about that too. Last night when I was laying in bed, I was just like processing everything. So I feel like because I wasn't taking my medication, I was just remembering the whole hospital day or like the surgery day and all that stuff. And it wasn't traumatizing, but it was, I don't know, some parts were kind of bothering me. Just like the thought of the gross stuff, right? So like sitting there being uncomfortable, feeling nauseous, it was just becoming a little bit more of a real memory versus just this medication. Like, oh, whatever, I don't care. It's right when I came out of the surgery and I got put in the recovery room, apparently they did have my nose packed, and I may have mentioned this on the first or second day. And I remember them like pulling it out so quick, and it did not hurt, but I just remember being like, ugh, because it was just so weird. I mean, it literally, sorry if this sounds gross, it felt like tampons just being pulled out of my nose, because it was like they have strings hanging out, right? But they just like pulled them out super fast, and oh my gosh, Elvis. So I keep leaving Elvis on my bed, and it is so high up, and he jumps down because I'm not in the room. What are you doing? You little, let's put your leg back in the, your little leg came out. You can't jump off that bed. How do you even survive? I don't even know how he survives those jumps. So look how crazy he looks. He needs a haircut so bad, but oh, you baby. It's my Kleenex storage. So I haven't wanted to give him a haircut because I'm trying to grow out the top of his hair because I put a hair tie on it, but he has lost every single hair tie since I've been out here. So now it just like hangs down like a little mop. Like this poor little, oh, he's so funny. Oh, I need to not kiss him. That's probably not good. Let's sit right here maybe. Oh, so yeah, sitting down's a bit tender, but not a big deal. Just to catch you up on the Miralax talk from the past couple days. If you don't want to hear about my bowel movements, you can skip ahead a few minutes. But so pretty much, I would highly recommend that you take the Miralax from the first day or post-op or the second day post-op, because oh my gosh. So I only took the Miralax the past 2 days, but we're on day 5. And this morning I finally go, and let me just say that was probably the most painful part of my recovery. Holy crap, no pun intended. But oh my gosh, I could have done without that. Just don't do that to yourself. Make sure that you're planning ahead. But that was also part of the reason I was just so uncomfortable the past couple days. Thank God that's done and over with. Just spare yourself. So yeah, so I'm gonna go clean all this up. Like, getting a nose job is not gonna be pretty until it's done. This whole cleanup process is such high maintenance, and it's just multiple times a day, every day. And I don't know how a lot of people do this, if they do it on their own, or I guess they do. It makes me wonder if they actually keep up with it, because it's kind of a pain. You can get like little pimple type things. So like if you look really closely, I don't know if you can see it, but look right underneath the stitches, I feel like there's little whitehead looking things, probably from the ointment just sitting on there and blocking all the pores and just the healing in general. And that's going on both sides. So you just want to leave those alone, I'm guessing. Obviously you can't try to go in there and do anything to them because it's right on the stitches. So you don't want to mess with that. Okay, so now on this side, see there was that one little spot that is like a little bit scabbier. I don't know why I noticed that. I even looked back at the previous vlogs to see, but I don't think I lost a stitch because I was worried about that when I saw it yesterday because I was like, oh my gosh, what did I do to it? Did I somehow rip out a stitch without realizing it while I was taking the pain pills and stuff? Like maybe I just didn't feel it or whatever. But I think it was just a random thing. There's a little sore spot that scabbed up. Elvis, hey, come here. This little thing, he keeps running around like a little, we have to lock him in here because he can't be trusted running around this house. He just can't. So where's his eyeballs? You see him? So he hates to have to sit in here, but he has to because he seriously got so hurt tumbling down those stairs. It was so scary. But as you can see, they're not yellow or anything today. So the first few days there was like blood and stuff. And then like yesterday and the day before it was like yellowish. Today there's nothing. So it just gets better and better. So I bought this box of Q-tips. And you can see I've almost gone, I'll probably go through an entire box of Q-tips by the time I'm done with this week. So it's a bit tender right along here. Not bad, but you can tell if you put pressure on it, it's a bit tender. They did have to, I guess you would call it like break the bone. Sounds way worse when you put it that way. It's obviously very controlled when they're breaking the bridge of your nose and all that. It's like chiseled, but they technically break it if you want it smaller or adjust it in any way. And they did bring my bridge down and made it thinner. So it is a bit tender right around here. It doesn't fully really heal the bone for like 6 weeks. So you just want to be careful with that. Oh, okay. Also be careful pushing in. I don't know about putting any pressure on the fat transfer area, so I've been very light with it, except I forget when I'm down here and I'm pushing up. I just kind of felt it a little bit. So you just, if you like very lightly go over it to wipe it, it doesn't hurt. If you were to push on it, that might be a different story, but I don't want to find out. It's the kind of thing that because it's more permanent, the last thing you want to do is mess it up, because it's not like a horrible experience, but it's definitely one that I'm not in a hurry to repeat. Getting fat taken out of my leg again to be put in my face. At day 5, I'm just kind of over it. That's one thing that I kept feeling yesterday. I was just feeling really over this recovery process. It's just kind of this uncomfortable, like, okay, any day now, like, when is it going to be just back to normal? And it's not like it's painful, like I've said a million times, but you just get tired of it. It's just draining, I guess. My hair's clean. Yay. I'm down at my parents'. They were letting me know that the little contraption that I made, that was great to like catch the fluid that was coming out of my leg, but I needed to let it breathe, which totally made sense because the bandages that they had put on, they're like a fabric, so they breathe, and what I had put over it, the plastic wasn't letting it breathe. So I decided to take off the whole padding because it wasn't leaking anymore, and the bandage looks disgusting. Underneath it, it's like the tiniest little hole. So I'm going to show this to you guys. Look at that tiny little pinprick. That's what made that big, huge mess. So you can kind of see like that tiny little hole leaked so much. That was like seeping through towels. That was the side that leaked the most. So I'm going to clean it up with some hydrogen peroxide and just put a band-aid over it. The surgeon told me not to do anything with it, but I came to check on it and it literally, like, the whole thing just fell off. So on the other side, I think I'm just going to pull it off because it's halfway flapping around. So you see how nasty it is, like, but see how it's like, it's literally not even on anymore. And it's once again that tiny little hole that made this big huge mess. I'm just gonna clean it all up and at least around the little wound because it does seem a little fresh still, like wet, I guess, like the little thing. So I'm gonna put a band-aid over it just to make sure that it doesn't like leak anything else. It's weird, my camera takes like a minute to adjust. Definitely good to have those off. I'm just gonna put these regular little band-aids on it. Like any kind of band-aid would work. I might actually pull off all the bandages and just put band-aids over everything. I know they told me not to, but it's like they're all peeling off and it's just causing more of a hassle than a band-aid would. So I'm just gonna get some like toilet paper and put hydrogen peroxide on it and just clean up around it. I won't mess with it too much. It is pretty tender. It just feels bruised underneath the skin. I don't think these patches were meant to stay on that long. He probably would have replaced them 2 days later, but because I stay an hour out of town, he just didn't want me to like bother coming down. There, you can see that it's nice and bruised. Right there is where I had it taped, so that was pretty tender. Just thought I'd fill you guys in on that part. I'm gonna go eat some dinner. It's the end of day 4, is it? I have no idea anymore. Actually, or is it day 5? I don't even know what day it is anymore. Just got back home from having dinner over at my parents'. So I think the last part that I talked to you guys about was the patches on my leg. So what I ended up doing is I just put 2 band-aids on the 2 parts that had leaked a lot in the first couple days, and then the other 2, they hadn't really leaked. One of them leaked a little bit, but I figured that was probably only on the first day, so I just took them off, considering there was like the 5th hole that was just kind of left. So I don't know if they just forgot about that one, or I don't know. So but I figured if that one survived and made it okay, the other 2 could be just as well. So I only put on 2 band-aids. So now the next thing will be, I think, tomorrow, because tonight I just don't want to deal with it. Tomorrow I might put some like baby oil around wherever I had taped, because now I have that tape glue all over my leg. So I'll have to figure out a way to rub that off. Tomorrow I will be calling the doctor just to reconfirm my appointment on Thursday and make sure that I'm doing okay with the patches on my legs or like everything, because I don't know, it's been about 4 days and I'm sure everything looks fine. Like nothing looks infected, nothing looks red. Even the ones like the patches that had stayed on my legs for a long time, they look fine. You know, I don't think I have anything to worry about. Plus that's what the antibiotics are for. But either way, just to make sure that I've been on the right track with like cleaning everything and like, I don't know, putting band-aids on it. Maybe I don't need to worry about it. Figure out if I'm actually allowed to get in the shower, because I feel like I should be able to now that I have the patches off my leg, because the incision sites are so small, even though it would kind of freak me out to get water over them still, just because they seem so like vulnerable, because they're really tender and really bruised from behind. So like wherever I sit, it's got bruises right underneath my butt cheeks, so it just feels kind of tender still. That's pretty much the only place that still hurts. I've yawned a few times, which totally freaked me out, because when you yawn, your nostrils move, and the first time I yawned, I tried so hard not to move my nostrils, and it kind of like zapped some pain a little bit. So these times, like when I've yawned, it actually didn't hurt or anything. My nose was able to move a little bit and it wasn't painful or anything. I've coughed, that's been fine. That didn't hurt. I have not sneezed, but even if I did sneeze, you just try to force the air out of your mouth and not put the pressure through your nose. Mainly the yawning is kind of like that head game where you're just like trying really hard not to move your nose, and then laughing. Okay, so laughing, you have to try really hard not to smile. I mean, I have had to try really hard not to smile too big, because first off, this is kind of stiff right here. It's still swollen. I'm sure that would be fine if I was laughing, but this all pulls if you smile too big. Like just a minute ago, I was informed that it was so dumb. Apparently, last night I was like, oh, I slept so well because I was able to breathe through my nose. I took half a pain pill, so I was able to like breathe really well. I fully breathed through my nose while I was asleep, and I didn't wake up to like any weird noises. The first couple nights, I remember waking up to weird sounds coming from my nose, but it was a little bit stuffier and more congested. This time, I was told that they were convinced that they heard a kitten, that there was a kitten outside because the window was open, and they got up and they went to look for this kitten for a minute, and then they realized that that sound was coming from my nose, but it was like the most perfect kitten sound that they did not believe that it was even possible that that sound was coming from my nose. And that made me laugh so hard that I had to like hold my cheeks down so I didn't pull my stitches too hard, because it was so freaking funny, the thought of just like me making like tiny like kitten meowing sounds out of my nose. I still haven't been taking my pain pills, but at night I have have been taking half a pain pill. So last night I tossed and turned for a couple hours, so I had to take half a pain pill just to be able to get some sleep. Today I did not take any naps. I didn't really feel sleepy. On the drive down to Salt Lake City to my parents' house, it was a very long drive. There was some crazy traffic. I forgot about the 3-day weekend and everyone was headed home. So it ended up taking like an hour and a half to get down there. So I started to get a little sleepy in there, but I did not fall asleep. But I'm still not that tired. But I know I need to go to sleep now because it's probably like, I don't know, 11. So I did take half of that pain pill because I just started to get really uncomfortable towards the end of the day. Like even when I was sitting at my parents', if they had had Tylenol, I would have probably taken a little tiny bit, just like the minimal dosage, just because just sitting on their couch was super uncomfortable. It was like pushing on all the wrong spots in my leg. So I was just kind of like squirming around and not being able to really get too comfortable. But then since I didn't have it, it wasn't that big of a deal. Like it's not painful, it's just uncomfortable. So, and you don't, I guess when you're healing, you don't need to constantly feel like you're on a vacation. But the fact that I stopped taking my pain pills so soon, obviously I'm okay just kind of letting it heal on its own and not be totally sedated most of the time, you know? I've also been feeling little like zaps. I don't know how to describe them, but it's like kind of like poking aches, but it's not even like an ache because it happens so quick. It's like a zap. But to me, it kind of seems like it's the nerves reconnecting. I had it happen a couple times. Like it just kind of shoots across like my cheek, or it does it like across my nose. And I remember that from my previous surgery, and that went on for like a few months on my previous surgery for my breast augmentation. It would just have these little lightning type zaps that would go through, and I'm pretty sure it's just the nerves reconnecting. I don't know, I might be wrong, I'm not a doctor, but that would totally make sense. I think that's pretty much it for today, honestly. I am gonna wipe off my face and reapply all the ointments, just like I did this morning and every other day. And my hair feels so nice and clean. It's so nice not to be a grease ball. I had to put it up though, because even during the drive, I wanted to have it down because it was finally clean, and I always have my hair up because it's just the easy thing to do. But every time the AC was like blowing or anything, it was like blowing like a hair across my nose, and it would just be like tickling it, and and you can't scratch your face. So I was just like constantly like wiping my hair out of my face, and so I was like, okay, it just needs to go up. So I think my hair will probably be up a lot. I'm excited because tomorrow I finally get my shipments. They're finally going to be here, so I'll finally have my visor that I can finally hide this gorgeous mug from the public. So that'll be awesome to show you guys. You guys have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow with hopefully a little more yellow and a little less purple. Good night.